Good morning and welcome again to another exciting episode of Logistics with Purpose. I'm your host, Enrique Alvarez, and I have, of course, my co-host, Kristi Porter with me. Kristi, how are you doing?
I am good. We have had a fun little pre-chat show. I feel like a different guest that we've had on before, so I'm excited to talk about new topics and very cutting edge things. So I feel like it's early morning here in the U.S., in the evening for him, but it's going to be a great discussion, and I'm thrilled to have him on.
I agree with you. I mean, we have a very technologically advanced individual to actually enlighten us with some of the amazing technology that their company is producing. And I think without further ado, let me introduce you to Satoshi Konagai. Satoshi Konagai is the Executive Officer, Head of Marketing and FPC Sales at Elephantech. Hey, Satoshi, how are you doing? Good morning for us, evening for you.
Yeah, great. Thank you so much for wonderful introduction. I'm so excited to be here. Yeah.
Yes, we are thrilled to have you, and you are definitely going to be an education for us because this is a world, at least I can say for myself, I know not a little about. So really excited to dive into it. But first, I want to tell everyone a little bit about your background. It's incredibly impressive. So a wealth of global experience in purpose-driven innovation. You have led complex cross-border projects in everything from cost accounting to business process re-engineering at large-scale systems, implementations, and turnarounds. You've managed global operations at scale, helped shape midterm strategies, and drive transformation across cultures and industries. That is all, I feel like, top of mind for everybody these days, so you are definitely ahead of us all. And now you're a part of Elephantech, which is a Japanese deep tech company tackling climate change through cutting edge manufacturing, which is, I know something I could say. So you're really leading the pack here. And what really stands out for us is your passion for building a better world. And that's why we're excited to have this conversation with you, leveraging technology, collaboration, the power of purpose. Satoshi, thank you so much for joining us today.
No, thank you. Thank you. Absolutely. It's my pleasure to meet all of you. And then I know like our technology is very like technological oriented, and then it's difficult to understand. So this time, like I would like to make things more simple and easy to understand. And I hope like everyone get absorbed about what we are doing it. And then, yeah.
It is
Well,
very impressive.
It was impressive. We actually watched a couple of the videos before jumping in, and we're excited about this call. Of course, everyone around the world knows that, hey, Japan almost always means amazing technology. So you are in Tokyo right now, so
Right.
we appreciate you joining from Tokyo, and thank you for being here in our show.
No, thank you so much. Yeah, and it's glad for like this technology too, right? Beyond the time differences, we can connect each other every single time. So that's really appreciative. Yeah.
Yes. Well, before we get into the incredible work you're doing at Elephantech and some more of your background, I'm going to warm us up with some quick questions. So just
Okay.
answer
Sure.
with
Sure.
the
Sure.
first
Sure.
thing that comes to mind.
Sure.
So, what is one thing you can't live without?
Since I'm Buddhist, so I'm doing like morning and afternoon for those prayers. So that's one of the things which meditate myself and reshape my like determination to change the world in a better way. So that's one of the things I cannot like stop it.
Yes, very grounding for your day as well.
Yeah.
What is your favorite hobby? We talked about a few ahead of the call, so now I want to know which one you're going to pick.
I mean, I used to be a swimmer, but now I'm doing like a walking and running and also weight training
Mm,
to be a healthier body to
that's
sustain
awesome.
my health.
That's good. You got to raise those two little energetic kiddos for sure. Um,
Yeah, exactly. I'm trying to hold my kids in the left arm and the right arm,
that's
always to
weightlifting.
pick like a nut from nursery school and calm
Yes,
school. Yeah.
fantastic. Coffee or tea?
Oh, I love both.
Okay.
Since my hometown is very famous for the green tea, which has
Yes.
Mount Fuji, so yeah.
Okay, good choice. Favorite place to be?
So I like hot springs. So wherever I go, that has hot spring is my favorite place to travel. And for the city, I love OC, Orange County in California.
Beautiful.
Yeah, since I spent like 5 years over there, and then the weather was very beautiful. The weather was really great, and with like a beautiful beach, and then delicious food, and then
Yes.
Tex-Mex. I love Tex-Mex, so
Oh, that's awesome. Well, you and me both. We'll have to find a way to get together sometime.
yeah, exactly.
Your favorite book? What have you been reading?
Oh, I love Romance of Three Kingdoms, which is a Chinese history book, and then and also I love comics books, manga, which is very famous in
Yep.
Japan. And then my kids start reading Doraemon, and the Doraemon is those small robots who produce, who bring like out of inventions. That helps me to gain more imagination of technologies and stuff. So I think comics books is also good choice for cultivating the imagination.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for sharing those answers, Satoshi. And as you said, right, like all this very creative writers and comic books, like I feel like technology's really trying to catch up with
Yeah.
sci-fi, and it's good inspiration for things that are possible that are probably not yet real, but technology can make them real.
Yeah.
So before we dive into the technology, and of course the great job that Elephantech is doing, I would like to hear more about your background. Tell us a little bit more about where you grew up, how was your childhood like, etc.
So I grew up in the city called Shizuoka, which has Mount Fuji, and then I'm the only child, and then my parents has like a disability due to the polio. So both of my parents has a disability in the left legs. But without that my parents' disability, I don't have any disadvantage of when I was at the childhood. So I'm so glad to be my parents' kids. And then I was so enthusiastic for the swimming, competitive swimming up to a junior high. And then after junior high, I moved to the Tokyo for my high school degree. So after 15 years old, I live separated from my family. And then that time, I was at the living in the dormitory with with 150 guys, and then we live in one small room with 4 members in one semester, and then each semester we change a room. Those kind of circumstances. So
Right.
yeah, it was very interesting experience for me to understand about the different culture, and even Japan from different region has different culture. So it's very I don't know, from that experience I learned about the diversity. And after I moved to the United States for gaining my undergrad and grad school degree, I had an experience with a more variety of culture. But I think understanding of a different culture and circumstances, those kind of nature is, I think, was cultivated by my childhood time, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, of course that helps a lot, right? And then understanding the world as a whole, if you have those very diverse relationships and experiences, it helps a lot. And I'm sure it helped
Exactly.
you a lot during your career. But before we go into the career itself, did you ever climb Mount Fuji? I mean, you mentioned that you were from where Mount Fuji is. Did you ever go up? Have you climbed it?
Yeah, I climbed it actually. When I was at I think 10. When I was at 10 years old, I climbed Mount Fuji with my friends and also my teachers. So in the elementary school, we trained ourselves to running ground all the time.
That's great.
Yeah, it was great experience actually. Yeah, but
I imagine.
yeah, I was so surprised when we climb up to the top. There's a lot of garbage over there. So before,
what?
yeah, like Mount Fuji was recognized as a UNESCO like heritage. So the environment itself was so like kind of contaminated. So that's very astonishing in sense. So that time, like I felt like an environmental issue already.
Oh, so you maybe that experience helped you develop who you are now, and that's why you're so against. Such a good proponent of sustainability, and you care about the environment, and
Yeah, I think
we
that's
definitely need to
yeah,
do a
that's one
better.
of the yeah one of the
We need
reasons
to do a
why
better
I
job, right,
chose.
as humans, to preserve some amazing nature
Yeah,
sites.
exactly.
And it's also very unusual compared to, at least here in the US, to move out of the house at 15 and go off to school. So you must have also learned a lot of independence and had a lot of experience during those years where you were living in this school. What I'm curious what that is like. How did that shape you as a person as well?
I think like it's coming from my parents' education, because like my parents is the one who push like who push me to be like a good person. Since I have a good education, since I am the owner to gain the good education, that those kind of people has a mission, has a an obligation to contribute to the others to make a world in the better way. It's I think the spirit of like a noblesse oblige. Those kind of like I think the parents they are, and they try to push me to be more independent, to gain more culture, not to stay in the like local town, but to gain more experience. Those kind of like I think parents, and I really appreciate their mindset. Especially the time like my mom overcame like two cancer. So first one was a breast cancer when I was at the like third. I'm the final senior of like a junior high, and then at the time like I think it was very difficult decision making for her to let their only son to go to like a Tokyo, but she bravely chose that decision. And then the second time was like when I was at a senior in high school, and then that time I was also like shivering myself whether I should go to like a United States or stick in Tokyo or like a university in Shizuoka. Those kind of things like I chose. I was wondering which one I should take, but my mom pushed me to go to the United States to experience more, to have like a better education. So I really appreciate like her like mindset, and then she's always be like a best supporter for me.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
sound like
Wow.
very special people.
Thank you very much for sharing that story. And your mom sounds like a very brave woman, and of course, always thinking on your interests first, right? That's something that most moms would do, right? Putting their kids
Yeah,
first, their children first.
yeah, especially in being like the father of two sons. I understand like that decision was very tough for her,
Yeah.
but I really appreciate her, and of course my father's choice as well. Yeah.
Well, congratulations to both your parents. They've done a really, really good job, clearly. And we'll talk a little bit about your career. I'm sure they're both incredibly proud of what you have accomplished. And so, moving to the academic side of things, you have a very successful career too, Satoshi. You earned your degree at Soka University of America. You mentioned it briefly. And then you went on to Yale and you focused on international development economics and even explored MBA courses in small and social businesses. How have this, like, you mentioned this a little bit already, but how have this global academic experiences shaped how you think about innovation, sustainability, the role of business in creating positive change? Could you tell us a little bit more about your experience while you were in these institutions?
Yeah, thank you so much. I think the spirit of noblesse oblige is, I think, penetrated not only in my undergrad or also like grad school. So when both academic institution, for my undergrad founder is always telling like a student that we need to serve common people, since we have a opportunity to gain like a higher education. Those kind of like spirit was always told by our founder, and then that I think pushed me to study harder. And then also Yale is a one like they always teach like a student to serve the people. So yeah, I think those kind of mindset shapes me to motivate myself, not only like pursue my career, but also to contribute to the something good for the public wealth. And then the reason why I chose like a development economics major is because I have experience in the like half a year study abroad in Mexico. And then at the time, like I studied Spanish. Actually, I forgot almost all.
I had no idea about this. We could have done this whole interview in Spanish. Then, Satoshi.
No, casi olvidé todas las palabras español. Un poquito. And then I stayed like a host family, and then one of like helper of like a host family was like a single mother, and then she didn't have any education of it, and then she couldn't read, and then also she couldn't count the numbers. And then since like my host family are very good, great person, and then they took care of like helper and then also helper's daughter, not only wages but also for the education opportunity and so on. So she was very lucky in some sense. But when I was like confronting like people who didn't have like opportunity for the education directly, I felt like this shouldn't be happened, because like of course, like there is everyone is different, and then every circumstance is different. But I think like a basic education or those like a basic like opportunities should be equally provided to the all people. That's what I felt through the interaction with like a host family, and then also like a helper of host family. And then those kind of like things led me to think how we can make and how can fulfill the gap of like those differences. And then that's pushed me to study more for those like development economics. And then when I went to like higher education, I was wondering whether I should go to a PhD or like I should go to like a private sector. And at that time, like I felt like I should go to like a private sector to have more experience to how we can make like a workforce. And then also how we can make a sustainable business scheme to make not only like gaining profit but also for the public goods. So those are the like the reason why like I chose to like my career, and then now like I'm working on like environmental issue. But like my core motivation is to make the world in a better way with my efforts. So. Yeah.
Wow. Thank you so much. We definitely need more people like you, Satoshi.
Yes.
Thank you so much for sharing.
And it sounds like you were also, it was an amazing experience to have such an ecosystem around you, from your parents to the people you interacted with to professors. Everybody had a very similar mindset about how education can improve lives, and how, I love the fact that you stated that education gives you the obligation to be able to give back to others. That was a really, I loved the way you said that, and it sounds like that was completely reinforced all around you and has certainly put you on a great path, which I want to talk about now. I'm very excited to hear about Elephantech. You're doing incredible cutting edge things there. Things that you will have to explain very slowly and simply to me. But you've been there for almost 3 years. And so tell us about Elephantech. What do you do and what is your role?
Okay, so I joined Elephantech like October of 2021. And then that time, like when I was, before that, I was working as a management consultant consultant. So I did a lot of like a turnaround project and then ERP system, SAP, those stuff. And then I went to China to see like how Chinese manufacturing is growing up. And then I was so, I don't know, like astonished about how Chinese technology was catching up and even for like surpassing to the Japanese technology. And then because of that, my experience in China for like 2 years, I believe like I should go to like a startup which create a new technology from Japan. And then that's the reason why I chose like Elephantech. And the Elephantech is a company. We are like a 10 years old startup company. Initially starting from like a Tokyo University technology, but now we have own patent. And then what we are doing is like we are doing sustainable manufacturing technology with using inkjet printing, metal inkjet printing. And then we chose like the first field using our technology is like a printed circuit board, which is like so-called PCBs. And then we are using like inkjet printing technology using nanometal ink to form the circuit directly, so that compared to like a conventional methodology which pile up all the raw materials in stack the raw materials and then do like a chemical etching and chemical treatment to patterning, our technology is pretty eco-friendly since we don't have like raw material loss, less raw material loss compared to like a conventional methodology. So those are like our technologies.
Wow.
Satoshi,
Yeah.
it's an impressive technology. It's
Very.
a great company, and it seems like your background, you've slowly unfolded this little pieces of information about you being in U.S., then you went to Mexico, then China again. So you really understand kind of what the world's doing in terms of technology, and you wanted to use Japanese technology to improve it. So before we continue with the very interesting information and interview, let's just go back to the printed circuit boards, the PCBs. And if you don't mind, I will try to put a clip here from your company that shows the equipment that you're using. But if I understood this correctly, the normal methodology to print circuits is by basically having a lot of copper, and then you scrape out everything else other than the circuit, and the circuit remains intact. And your technology is different because you're adding it, you're printing it like we would print like a piece of paper, and so the circuit is the only thing that you're
Exactly.
using as opposed to just
Yeah.
taking everything out.
Yeah,
But
your
let me-
understanding is
give me
correct.
a second, and I'll let you a chance to explain what we are seeing here. Let me put play on this. Go ahead. Tell us a little bit more about what we're seeing, Satoshi, and what is this machine?
Also, this is like an inkjet printing machine. So we put on the substrate. This is a flexible printed circuit. So circuit machine. So we put on the polyimide substrate on the stage, and then we do like inkjet printing using this, and then we hold to like other process which is like a drying process. So we do like a photosintering using this machine to dry up like unnecessary part, and then to make a rigid patterning, and then and then after this drying process is done, then we have like a seed layer of patterning, and then we put into like a electroless copper plating line to make grow the circuit thick enough for mass produce level. So the combination of like inkjet printing for seed layer printing and plating leads to the mass producing level of like quality for the PCBs. So other similar technology is only doing like a printing technology. But our interesting part of our technology is a combination of both printing and plating.
Got
So
it.
that
And
yeah.
I read that up to more than 50% of carbon emissions from mobile phones come from the way that they're printing their current circuit boards, correct?
Exactly.
So you eliminate all this by using your technology.
Exactly, exactly. So the video shows is like only flexible printed circuit, but our technology is also right now developing to the rigid printed circuit, which is a green stick one, stick like a glass base like substrate. So normally when we imagine about the PCBs, it's you everyone imagine about the semiconductor tip. But on the top of the substrate, there is some semiconductor tip. Those substrate part is actually it's a PCB, and then that's a rigid printed circuit. So it's more commonly used for the all over the world. So both like a rigid printed circuit and FPC, and there's other type of substrate PCB as well. But that accounts for like a lot of like carbon emission of like a smartphone and also notebook PCs, even for the automotive too. So in the automotive, although like only like a small percentage of usage of PCBs, but that accounts a lot of like the CO2 emissions. So one of like I think the LCA calculation article I read is like 40% accounts PCBs for like a total emission of like one car. And then now it's the consumption of like PCBs are growing since like electric vehicle is coming up, and then also a lot of like informatics is going on, so they need more PCBs.
Well, and with your technology, they can actually continue growing. The automotive industry will definitely continue shifting towards electric, but then at the same time, they don't have to, their emissions don't have to be as much as they are now using this new technology. This is very interesting, very technologically advanced, Kristi. I don't know. We've been looking at this and trying to explain it.
And also, I would like
Go ahead,
to
Kristi.
add two more traits. So not only CO2, but also like our production methodology has less water consumption. So compared to like a conventional one, we roughly calculate like a 95% reduction of like water consumption, because our process is very like shortened compared to like a conventional one. So not so much like a washing process going on, and then with less chemicals. So our water consumption reduced a lot. And then meanwhile, like, since like we reduce like raw material wastage, so that leads to like copper consumption as well.
Wow.
Because most manufacturers use the carving, right? So they're carving this copper out, and that requires a lot of water, I imagine, and a lot of chemicals, and then you have to treat the water because it's all polluted. As opposed to you, that you just simply use the copper wherever it's going, so that the circuit is clean. But Kristi, go ahead. We could talk about this for a while.
Well, and for anybody who's listening, I definitely encourage you to either go to their website or go back and, even better, go back and watch the full episode on YouTube. But it's fascinating to see, I think we're so used to seeing manufacturing videos in one way, and to see these components come out and they look like paper. They're reflexible. They look, it's a totally new way of imagining things. So thank you, Satoshi. Just incredible work that your team is doing. I wish we had them all here.
Thank you so much. I'm very proud of my engineer team. Yeah, thank you.
Yes. And so you've launched this new copper nano filler with ultrafine. Look at me. So I'm saying this like I know what it means, so you're going to have to tell me. A copper nano filter with ultrafine 15 nanometer particles, except for dispersion stability. So again, you're talking about slashing copper use, which is, of course, not only bad for the environment, but also then you also get into dealing with vulnerable populations who are often, children or people at risk who are having to do all this copper mining as well. So there's that benefit too. You've lowered carbon emissions, water consumption. So again, you're talking about something that is completely new on the front of what we've been doing for decades now. So I'd love for you to also tell us about Some of the trial and error, what have you learned in this process of trying to forge a whole new path here?
Great, thank you so much. So now still like we are trying to catch up like our specification to the conventional one. Of course, we are catching up like many of like specification, but still there is some like limitation of specification. So a lot of like R&D is necessary to be done, and then we need to also like pass all the quality examination and stuff. And then we now like proudly like have like experiments with like mass production for the flexible printed circuit, which means like we pass all the quality examination. But there was like a lot of course like a trial and error was going on to make the quality that level. But still we need to improve a lot to do like a cost down and also specification improvement as well. So that's still like a lot of like development is necessary to be done. But yeah, like we are still on the kind of entrance of like towards our ultimate goal to change our like conventional PCB manufacturing method to our technology.
Wow.
Well, Satoshi, global brands like Apple, for example, they're definitely under pressure to reduce their CO2 emissions, right? I mean, Scope 3 for them is critical. The world is watching, and everyone has actually set up this very aggressive goals for the future and how they are going to continue reducing their CO2 emissions. As a head of marketing, you must understand this not only at the technological level, but then also like understand how to convince the companies. So from a marketing standpoint, how are you positioning Elephantech solution? How do you talk to Apple, to these bigger companies? How do you convince them that this is the way to go? And I know that the data is very straightforward. I mean, you'll save copper. You don't have enough. You don't have waste. You'll save water. But what are the main points from a marketing standpoint for your company?
I think our technology is very unique since we have like a competitive price level with a lot of environmental impact reduction. Though like our like electronic component is most difficult, I think, elements for the manufacturing to change the like a new methodology since they need like quality wise. But I think the trade of like our cost competitiveness plus environmental impact reduction makes us like a very unique I think standpoint of like a marketing perspective. The plus I'm always saying that look like please bite a bit to make your CSR report more stronger, and then please be like a fast penguin to be like a market leader for adopting this technology. And then there is some like companies like Logitech, for example, courageously take our technology to adapt like their mass production level, and then I really appreciate their courageous spirit, and then also like considered environment as like a most important like human beings issue. And then I cannot tell the name, but there is other like device manufacturer or brand maker also taking like the same attitude as like Logitech does. And I'm feeling that like people are trying to make an effort to make a world in a better way, especially with current like high temperature, and then everyone knows that we need to take action. And then there is although it's our like what we are doing is like a small step, but the accumulation of small step leads out of like a huge leap for the human beings. And then I'm very appreciate our partners who are taking a lead.
Yeah, absolutely. And well, that's a great company to have in your corner. And I'm sure, yes, there are others behind the scenes, but I feel like also more people will start taking notice, not only because there's the moral case for it, and then there's the business case
Right.
for it. And I feel like you're at a perfect intersection for both of those arguments. So thank you. You're headquartered in Tokyo, as you mentioned. Tokyo is, of course, right always. You imagine both innovation and manufacturing when you think of Tokyo. So from your perspective, how is Japan's role in general evolving as a leader in global green manufacturing, climate tech? How do you guys fit into that piece, and how do you see the country doing?
I feel like Japanese government has doing great job with recent years. When I was joining at the Elephantech, like a climate issue is was big deal, but wasn't so enthusiastic compared to like as of now. And I feel like many of like brands are changing their attitude towards more to like solve like this issue. So I could tell like when I joined like Elephantech being as sales planning and those stuff, when I communicate with like our potential client, they are saying like QCD, so quality control delivery is the most important thing, and then environment is it's like 6th or 7th rank, so it's not important. That kind of attitude it was, but they changed their mind with recent days, and they are saying that the environment is also, of course, it's very important issue. So I'm hoping that as being Japan is like kind of meet position in not China and the US and with current geopolitical situation. So I'm hoping like a Japanese government has a good lead towards global warming issue, global warming issue as well.
Yeah.
And then Japan is a good place to accumulate like a lot of like founding like technologies like raw materials, equipment, machine equipment, and then those stuff. So being Japanese startup is a very, I think, like has a many meanings. So we would like to leverage out for the existing like technology of like cumulative technology in Japan to make a global level of like a scale startup. So that's what we are aiming for.
Yeah.
Wow.
I love that you're saying that you're 10 years old, but you're still in startup mentality, which means you're always learning and growing and looking for new opportunities. And I think that's a great mindset.
Yeah, we are still like a challenger and trying to catch up like a conventional like a PCB standards, because PCB is like 100 years old like a history, and then they have a lot of like accumulated technology. Of course, like there is some issue of environment, but I really respect like conventional methodologies like company does, because of their effort. We can use like electric devices with very cheap and then sustainable cost, and they are making a lot of effort of it. So we are hoping that so we would like to pivot PCB manufacturer to the PCB equipment manufacturer. So for us, like a conventional PCB manufacturer is not the competitor, but it's more like our potential customer. So we would like to run more technology of like a PCB than their requirement, and we would like to make our technology more advanced to widespread our this manufacturing methodology to the world. So that's what we are aiming for.
Fantastic.
Wow, it's a really good mindset, right? And of course you have to congratulate all your engineers, and you have to congratulate you, Satoshi, and your company, and of course the Japanese government for really investing and protecting and growing companies for years. And you're right. I mean, it's a technological change. That's a shift. So you're respectful of the past, because the way that it was manufactured in the past allow you to be who you are and create and innovate towards the future. And it's funny and very professional of you that you're also saying that they're not the competition. You're actually trying to see them as a customer. And at some point, I'm pretty sure they're going to be using Elephantech printed circuit boards to run their printing devices on their traditional way of printing PCBs. But hopefully, it sounds to me that this is a technological shift, it sounds that in time, people are going to realize that it's just a better way of doing things, less costly, more sustainable, less water consumption. It sounds like a very straightforward proposition. So with that said, that's now, how do you imagine the future will be, Satoshi? If we were to ask, so 10 years from now, what are some of the future plans for Elephantech? Where can you take this new technology into the future? What would be your vision for the next 10, 20 years?
Yeah, great. That's a great question. So, with our mission, we are not want to be like only PCB, but also to adapt our technology into like a wider level. And then we don't need to stick with inkjet printing, but also maybe other manufacturing methodology which can produce like a more sustainable way. We would like to, of course, pursue it. So we would like to be like let's say like a sustainable manufacturing methodology, like a proposing company, and which is like to be like I think like both equipment and also raw material manufacturer to provide and to propose new way of manufacturing methodology to the world. So that's what I think we would like to be. And then of course like other competitor or other like a manufacturer like us will come up, which leads to the human beings like technology development more advanced. So to the set, like I hope like we have good like a competitive environment in terms of like reducing the environmental impact with like a quality and cost. And then I believe like a human like a 10 years or 20 years of like the world will be like better than like right now. I strongly believe it. I'm not pessimistic about the future. I'm very optimistic of the future. Yeah.
Well, you're certainly leading the future for sure. So leading in the right direction. So thank you. For
I hope. Yeah, I hope. I hope I will be the one of it. But
Yes.
yeah, I try my best to make
Yes.
effort.
Well, and it sounds like as soon as you get this challenge tackled, then you're already looking to new horizons as well, and we'll figure out bigger and better problems to solve after this, and it will continue to be a wave of it. So thank you for really kind of giving a positive reset to manufacturing practices. And again, I agree with Enrique, showing gratitude for where we've been, because that has allowed us to have all the technology that we have now, but also knowing that that has put us on track for making it even better. And so, so it sounds like we're certainly headed down that path. Well, thank you again for your time. This has been wonderful. It's been fascinating to learn about. And so before we go, I would just like to ask you, what does the phrase logistics with purpose mean to you?
I think logistic is a very necessary activity for the human beings. Without logistic, I think all the Japanese people will be die with hunger. So because like a lot of like transportation and interaction, these like everything includes like a word of logistic, right? So I think logistic is a very key component of like a human being's activity. And then so for that activity with like either mindset of like a concerning about the purpose is very necessary.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that.
Well, thank you very much, Satoshi, and once again, congratulations. As Kristi mentioned, you are leading the future, and I'm sure and I'm hoping that a lot of our listeners are paying close attention to what Elephantech is doing. You guys are really reinventing the way the printing works, and that of course impacts a lot of different industries. So congratulations again. I personally would like our listeners to go and check your website, which by the way, it's beautifully designed and it's very easy to navigate. So please, if you have a little curiosity about this groundbreaking technology, just visit Elephantech's website. It's a well managed and coordinated effort.
And
Satoshi,
also, I'm
go ahead.
yeah, I'm always welcome to add like a LinkedIn So anytime, like,
Yes,
please
well,
send
I
me
was
like
going to ask
a
you,
message.
how can. All right, so I'll start again. I completely spoke over you. How can our listeners connect with you? And yes, LinkedIn could be a good start. If
Yeah.
anything else.
And then also you can put it on the message at the contact us, and then yeah, we can of course connect with like not only me but also like sales members can connect you, and then also you can take a look about the PCB 007, which is like a PCB magazine now, and then we are now in the it's like for 3 months a magazine in a row, like they highlight our technology. So please take a look for your reference. I think that would be also good to understand how our technology works out. So
Yes,
yeah, again, thanks so
absolutely.
much.
Yeah, anybody, we have lots of manufacturing folks listening in, so they're all very accustomed to seeing one way of manufacturing, so we definitely want people to go check out your website to see what's coming ahead and what's going to be implemented in the future. Thank you, Satoshi, again so much for being here. This was a great conversation. I feel like I learned a lot, and I'm a smarter human being because of it. And everyone, thank you so much for listening in. We love our audience, grateful that you're here. There's a lot of bad news in supply chain, so we look forward to bringing you more good news every 2 weeks. So thanks for joining us, thanks for tuning in, and thanks for sticking with us. We'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.